If you follow this channel, you know that I'm using a Fujifilm X-T5 and I've got since 1 year. And now the real question is, after 12 months using it for everything, travel photography, studio, street, everything, am I still in love with it? Or have I been eyeing something else? Let's find out. Welcome back to this channel. This is Julia Hepburn and here we talk all about photography and everything in between. Today it's all about the Fujifilm X-T5, my experience with this camera. I'm gonna try to cover as many aspects as possible. I will try to cover as many aspects as possible, showcasing examples and reviewing my full experience with this camera, and we're gonna discover at the end of this video if I will still purchase this camera at the end of 2024 or if I change my mind. The main question is why I decided to purchase the X-T5. Basically, my previous camera was the X-T30 and it was basically the camera that I was using for travel photography, to have always something with me that was not like a break in my bag, to basically enjoy again photography. My main work camera was the Canon 5D Mark III, and if you know, this kind of camera is a DSLR and it's very big and heavy, and I use it everywhere from studio to travel. And sometimes while I was traveling, it was basically like, it's so heavy and I really didn't want it to take it out from my purse because it was too much. The desire to shoot and enjoy the shoot was basically going away because I was feeling like too tense in my shoulder and like everywhere. Basically, I decided to have like a smaller camera, the X-T30, that for a while was a good camera. However, I think because this is me, because I wanna have like full control of stuff, but at some point even the X-T30 was not as good as I wanted to be. I did amazing video with that and I also took some nice picture. However, the user experience was a little bit weird, I guess because the camera was a little bit tiny, and also I really disliked the lens and I didn't have any other lens. So basically one day in October actually of last year, I entered in Park Camera and I purchased the X-T5. The X-T5 basically has a body that is not too big, but it has some specs that are exactly what I was looking for. So very good quality picture, video, etc. But we're gonna cover this also further in the video. Let's break just for 1 minute to remind you to subscribe to this channel, to put a like. It really means a lot. It really helps me to grow with the channel and to create more content. We are already over 1,000. It's woohoo! I'm super excited. Yes, every comment, every subscriber, every likes really count. And yeah, I really enjoy doing YouTube, so I would like to bring more content to the community, and yeah, thanks for your support and let's continue. The first month with the X-T5 were amazing. I use this camera especially for picture. I enjoy doing especially street photography or travel photography. I did also some studio. For street photography, I think it's great because it's tiny, you can put it in your bag or your backpack, it's not too heavy. It's amazing. Also, your wrist will not suffer if you hold this camera all day, all night, and you will be fine. The aspect that the Canon has, there was a big no for me for a long day of shooting. Now finally again I have a light camera that I can use and everywhere. Another amazing aspect is also the fact that you have different lenses, and you have also third-party lenses that are compatible with this camera. They are not extremely expensive, so you can find it in the second-hand market or on eBay or wherever you would like to buy. And finally I had the occasion also to test different types of lenses, something that I was not able to do before. On this channel you saw also video where I took pictures just with the 27mm, for example, the 23mm and the 18mm. Oh my god, so many wide angle. Yeah, so difficult the 23mm to use, to be honest. And recently I just purchased a third-party lens that is the 18-50mm by Sigma 2.8 because I really would like to see a zoom lens that has also a wider aperture. In terms of lens, I have different possibilities to pick up which lens I would like to use for the day. Also the kit lens that is the 18mm as far as I remember. I basically use it like a few times, but not really much. I think I don't know, I got it with the kit lens, but in the end I really didn't use it. And basically my first purchase was a 35mm, and why I never tried 35mm before, who knows. But damn, it's so good. Basically was my main lens that I used during my trip to New York and also to San Francisco and Los Angeles, and it is such a good lens. It's fast, it's bright. I use it also for night photography where I can push the ISO, but also not a crazy pushing the ISO because I have a wide aperture. And with the sensor of the X-T5 I can crop the images without losing quality, so that's amazing. The sensor is another big plus point because the 45 megapixel sensor is like mind-blowing if you pass it from like a 20 megapixel, and you will see the difference. I'm not planning to print my picture massively, but who knows. However, what I notice is like if I want to crop them, I can, and without losing quality I still have like the sharpness and the contrast in the images that I like, while before I have maybe to use like kind of AI to enhance like the quality of the image because I have maybe to use a higher ISO, for example. And that was like, that's okay. It's like, it's okay, you can use it, but of course in a workload process is like extra time that you use for the editing, for example. On the video aspect, I can talk just a little bit. Like for me this is not a hybrid camera, I'm more a photographer than a videographer. For me the X-T5 is my photo camera and not my video camera. I do also video with it, and I use it on a gimbal, and the results are perfect for what I have to do. Like I deliver commercial work with this camera. Like quality wise, I'm perfectly fine for me. I can film in 4K, I can stretch and crop again, I can save the color. For example, I never film in log just because I'm lazy and for the types of the work that I need to deliver, it's fine what I'm using. So if you're also like maybe a person that likes to do video, but the world of video as the world of photography is vast and wide, so maybe you're just starting, so I think this camera is quite good also if you would like to start messing around a little bit with video, because you will always obtain results that are good. But again, I'm not an expert in the video aspect, but for the type of work that I'm doing, it's perfect and it's fine. I normally shoot in RAW and I rarely use the recipes that basically everybody loves about Fujifilm. I understand I have a few saved, but at the end of the day I like editing also. But the idea that you can also have like a good JPEG, basically it depends of the kind of things that you would like to do with your images and what type of photographer you are, because I think this is the main difference, and this is what is about this video. What type of photographer you are and what is the usage you're gonna do with this camera. The raw files are perfectly fine. I was able to save multiple time details and crop it as I told you, so like on the image aspect I cannot really complain. Maybe I cannot really complain. And now let's talk about the elephant in the room. We all know what it's about because if you use Fuji, we all know. And that is the autofocus. Damn. Honestly, I don't know. I'm a person that I don't want to blame the camera at all, because like there are so many factors that can be involved while we are taking a picture, and like maybe shaking hands, maybe we didn't put the setting right. Like of course, many things, many factors. However, sometimes the focus is not there, and this is a big problem for me. It's a big problem, especially if if you're a fast shooter and or maybe if you're like in a studio environment, because I don't wanna lose the shot. I don't wanna, like on the screen it seems fine and then I zoom in, it's like, oh god, what am I gonna do? Sometimes the autofocus really was like a big guessing for me, and I discovered this main issue, especially with the 23mm. I know that I'm shooting in a different way that I normally shoot, because I normally look through the viewfinder compared from the screen. However, like there are so many weird images, so many focus that are like not happening were supposed to happen. However, I know that Fuji is going to release soon a firmware, so hopefully it will be the best firmware, they're gonna fix all our issue, and we're gonna be so happy with our autofocus. I would like also to talk about this camera in a studio environment. If you don't know, I'm a professional photographer, so photography is the work that I'm doing to pay my bills. And apart in this channel where I'm showing you more street photography and travel photography, and we talk about photography, my main job is more fashion and commercial. So I try to use also this camera for my fashion and portrait session, and yeah, it was okay. Like, I'm used to different cameras, to be honest. I normally shoot tethered, that means that you connect a cable to the camera directly to the computer, and through like Lightroom or Capture One you can see the picture coming through. I have the proper Fuji tether cable, all good. However, like, I don't know, everything was very slow, the communication, I don't know what was happening. So maybe I shoot a lot of picture and like they come up to the screen too slow for my way of working, as well as like maybe even if I have I use in ProPhoto flashlight, I have the ProPhoto trigger. Even if I use it, sometimes it works, and maybe because I'm shooting too fast. Honestly, I think the problem is me in this case, like a toxic relationship. But like, I don't know, in the studio environment, I found it a little bit more difficult. But again, I think it's because I'm a very fast shooter. I really like just go and shoot. I'm not like taking my time to fix. I think more in approach that is more natural, not like oh, now let's think about this, let's do that. No, there's no time. Basically, let's just go straight forward. For me, the studio experience with the X-T5 was like a meh situation. I think it could work if you just take your time to take the picture, and if you don't have to do, for example, e-commerce or this kind of project, so it could work for you. But personally, for me, is like a camera that I will not choose professionally to work. And now we arrive at the end of this video and about all the conversation that we have about this camera. So will I choose this camera in 2024? The answer is yes, with a but. The answer is yes. It's a camera that really brings back the joy to shoot. Personally, the experience of shooting is amazing. I really enjoy is not even the right word to describe how I feel when I have this camera in my hands. It's something that I want to bring with me, something that I really care, something that I'm thinking all the time, like, oh, what new lens I could try, oh, what can I do today, oh, maybe I should experiment with the double exposure or whatever. It's something that really brings the joy that I had the first time that I liked photography. And if you're a photographer, if you're a professional photographer doing this for living, you know that at some point, like, because it's also your living, at some point you always arrive at a curve of your life that you're like, oh wow, I don't want to shoot anymore, why I have so many cameras, this kind of stuff. And because I had that feeling few times, this camera basically brings back the joy that I thought it was gone. It was like, okay, this is my word, that's fine. But actually, like, it's always there. I really enjoy photography in all the aspects, work aspect, and also like in my free time. The camera is like it's not a toy, it's like the little treat for myself, like, oh, what are we gonna do today? Oh, I got 1 hour free, let's go out and shoot. The experience is what makes this camera valuable for me, is what basically will make me choose this camera again in 2024 and 2025, because I think it has everything that I like. It has interchangeable lenses, it has a very good sensor and quality, it can also do video, it's light, so it's fantastic for this kind of specs that I'm looking for. And also it's a camera that I'm thinking more to use in my travel and in my street photography rather than my work. So saying that, yes, I will choose this camera, I will choose the Fuji X-T5, but on a work perspective, because, only because I really need something that is reliable. I really need a camera that if I go out and I want to have the picture in focus, I don't need to arrive at home and be like, oh my god, is everything on focus? Something like that. And this actually happened very, very recently, that I was at an event and I have to shoot this event. The lights was not super great, was alright, and I tried to shoot a few pictures with the X-T5, but the focus was all over the place. I was like, oh damn. And thanks God I have my very old brick camera, the Canon 5D Mark III, because it saves the day. Literally, it saves the day, it saves the night, and saves like a project, a paint project. And this really made me think like, okay, so at the end of the day, what is paying me are clients, so I need to deliver to clients something that is right for them. And I want to have a tool that is reliable with me as well. I think like work-wise, I'm looking somewhere else, to be honest, and I'm gonna purchase something else and not Fuji in this case. It's a little bit like I feel like I'm betraying a lover, but you know what? Like cameras are our tool. We need to feel our tool in our hands, and they need to deliver what we would like to deliver to clients in case you're working as a professional, or what we want to deliver for ourselves. So I think at the end of the day, it just depends who you are. If you are like a hobbyist, amateur photographer, also like a semi-professional photographer, it's fine. Like the X-T5 I think is a great camera to use. Even if you are a professional, I think it is actually a very good camera. It depends what kind of sector of photography you are. I think for fashion this is not the right camera, to be honest, but I'm open to the discussion, of course. If there are any fashion and commercial photographers outside, please let me know what you're using, because I'm curious. And yeah, so this is what I have to say after 1 year of usage with the X-T5. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna see you very soon. Ciao!